Minecraft and Pokemon, two of the greatest creations in recent times that so many of us have grown up with. And you know what makes them even more great? Combining them into one. For the next 100 days, I will be trying to be the very best and spend my time in an immersive Pokemon world on a server called Pokefind. This world is filled with quests, beautifully built regions, oddly satisfying cosmetics, Pokestops that give you custom items, and of course, super cute Pokemon. But if that wasn't good enough, all of this is a vanilla experience, meaning that you need 0 mods to enjoy the server. All you need to do is log on and say yes to the server's custom texture pack to dive yourself into this Pokemon adventure. And don't worry, if you prefer the typical survival experience, the server offers that too. With all of that being said, let's dive right in and try to catch them all. So the first thing I did was of course log into the server that I would be spending the next 100 days on for my Pokemon adventure. But before deciding which Pokemon experience I wanted, I checked out the altar in the center of them, which included 5 crate options. Unfortunately, I am super poor, so I could only afford the wood crate, in which I received some gold. Cool. After that, I decided to choose Pokemon World as this was going to be a much more unique experience from the usual survival Pokemon concept. Next, I was going to need to choose a region to join, which consisted of Kyoto, Jotaro, Haiku, and the new region, Shiloh, which was where I ultimately decided to travel to. I was transported to Finevale Cape, where I was greeted by Professor Hemlock. He showed me around a bit before leading me to the area where I would be choosing my starter Pokemon. I could choose between Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. All very, very cute Pokemon. I have decision-making issues, so it took me a bit of time to decide, but I ultimately decided to start with Turtwig because turtles are just adorable, you know? After choosing Turtwig, Professor Hemlock took me to a Baneri Pokemon to fight. Now, I have a confession to make. I've never actually participated in a Pokemon battle before, so please bear with me and my newbiness. I chose to tackle and nearly killed the Baneri in one hit. After using it one more time, I won the battle. I went to the Poke Center to heal my Pokemon, and then I looked around Finevale a bit. My first encounter was with this adorable Teddy Ursa, who was 1 level higher than me. For a while, I was winning the battle, but suddenly Teddy Ursa got me super low, and I ultimately lost the battle. Nice job, Lindsay. Next, I found a Rattata to fight, and yes, he is only level 2. But let's just pretend that's not the case, and instead, let's congratulate me on my victory. There were tons of low-level Pokemon in this town, which allowed me to grind a bit and level up. Okay, something to note is that the higher level of trainer I am, the higher level Pokemon I'll be able to see. Meaning, unfortunately, currently I'm too low of a level to see rare Pokemon. However, I did see some cute ones like Sentret and Spinda, who I battled and was absolutely demolished by. After finding another Teddy Ursa, I decided he was way too cute to just leave there, so I threw a Pokeball at him to try to catch him. And yes! I decided to go on my first quest, and I made my way back to the observatory. Upstairs, Isaac was chilling, and after greeting him, he started going on and on about time and space, and I don't know, he's kind of weird. After listening to his never-ending tangent, Danielle joined in, and I don't think she likes me. Danielle ended up wanting to battle me with her Piplup, and she did kill my Turtwig, but little did she know, I have another Pokemon, Teddy Ursa, and with him, I was able to win. Isaac then instructed me to go get his computer and bring it back to him, so after collecting it and giving it to him, he gave me instructions to go find his clock. Okay. After going downstairs, I saw the clock, and upon trying to grab it, Pachirisu snatched it and ran off. I began chasing her, and every time I got close, she would run off again. I thought this cat and mouse game was never going to end. OMG! A Jigglypuff! Eventually, I was able to corner her, and we began battling. But my Turtwig was not healed yet, and I wasn't able to beat her with just Teddy Ursa. So after healing them both, I went back to once again battle her, and although it was a very close battle, I did in fact win. Then, a menu popped up on my screen, showing that Teddy Ursa could learn a new move called Fury Swipes. So I forgot my only dark mood, which was probably not the best choice, but whatever. After giving the clock back, I was now told to look for Senex near the docks. And after finding him, we asked for the book that Isaac wanted, but he said we would have to battle for the book. His Pokemon were much higher level than mine, so I spent some time battling local Pokemon to level up my Pokemon, and I even decided to catch this level 8 Spinda. I went back to Senex and began once again battling his Pokemon. After defeating Bizel, he sent out Starly, and after sending out Spinda, we were able to defeat him. I then went back to Isaac and delivered his book. The quest rewarded me with 5,000 coins, 10 tokens, and 2,500 trainer experience. Not too shabby. After fighting an Eevee and winning the battle, I found a level 2 Magikarp, and I couldn't help myself. Now, is Magikarp literally completely and utterly useless until level 20? Yes. Yes, he is. Do I care? Absolutely not. Unfortunately, he was playing very hard to get, and it took a few of my Pokeballs to finally catch him. After wandering around the ocean a bit, I happened to find a level 10 Magikarp. No one said I couldn't have 2 Magikarp, so I put my level 2 one in a box and I began battling the level 10 one to get him a little bit lower before throwing a Pokeball on him, in which I was successful on the first try. I later came across an Oddish, but he was only level 2, so I didn't catch him. But he is very, very cute. I then stumbled into another town, Marshbarrow. Inside the town was a Pokemon in a costume, I'm assuming, which was very cute. I didn't do any battling here, rather I just admired the Pokemon and this amazing statue placed behind the map. While trying to find another quest in this town, I came across a cute Meowth, but he was super low level. Eventually, I found Denny's and she wanted to meet outside of the city to battle. Unfortunately, my Turtwig was nearly a one-shot and my Teddy Ursa was also getting absolutely stomped on at first. But he eventually did tons of damage. Good job, Magikarp. Unfortunately, he went right through Spinda's health. So my last hope was Turtwig, which did not work out. After realizing this wasn't gonna work out, I went to go catch another Pokemon. I once again began fighting the Chimchar, but this time I sent out Sentret, who did hardly any damage whatsoever. But having the extra Pokemon did give me the ability to finally beat her, level 13 Chimchar, so we will call this a win, even if she nearly team wiped me again. Following the fight, Denny's Chimchar evolved into Monferno. Next up, I needed to go to Woodburn Gym and speak to the ranger there, so after some traveling, I made my way there. Eventually, after lots of looking around, I finally found the ranger. The town had been overcome by flames and he wanted help finding them. I mean, that's kind of what you get for building an entire town out of wood and leaves, but okay, sure. I began looking for Officer Reynolds and he instructed me to rescue all of the Pokemon trapped by the fire, so I did just that, one by one by one. Next, I had to go to Wald's house, and he was trapped, so I needed to use my water Pokemon in order to rescue him. Come on, Magikarp, you got this. Be useful. After Wald ran off, I apparently stepped on a bad branch, and I fell. I was greeted by a Zelf who thanked me for helping. He used his ability to clear out all the fire. I then confronted Wald, asking if he was the one who started the fire, and he was suspiciously defensive before declaring a battle. His Carnivine was able to one-shot all of my Pokemon. I trained them more, leveling them up some, but this was still not enough, and he team wiped me again. After that embarrassing battle, I again leveled up my Pokemon, first with a fight with Cherubi, which by the way is very adorable. Why did I not catch her? What is wrong with me? Anyway, after winning the battle, I traveled to Circuit City, in which my friend encouraged me to catch Magnemite for my battle with Wald. After getting Magnemite low, I threw a Pokeball on him and was successful. I then found a Mawile and I threw Pokeball after Pokeball on him, but he did not want to stay. So I began battling him to get his health lower. After getting him around half health, I once again tried and failed. So I used a great Pokeball instead, which ended up working. After switching out my Pokemon, I went back to Woodburn and began fighting Wald. I put out Magnemite and I used an electric ability, but it wasn't very effective. After Magnemite lost, I put out Magikarp just for the fun of it. Sorry, bro. I then put Mawile back out, but Carnivine kept regenerating his health. Eventually, with Bite, Mawile was able to defeat him. Next up was Combi, so I put out Teddy Ursa, who nearly one-shot him. After a second hit, we were successful. Last was Kricketune, and I was running out of Pokemon. I put out Spinda, who was 5 levels lower, and yeah. I figured I would need some fire-type Pokemon, so after a ton of traveling, I made my way to Hearth Valley and I began using the tracker to see what I could find in the area. There were some Vulpixes and Growlithes in the area, so I began searching for some high-leveled ones. Eventually, I found a level 12 Vulpix and began a battle with him to get him lower. I then threw a Pokeball on him and I caught him. While looking for a Growlithe, I accidentally found a Ponyta, which strikingly reminds me of My Little Pony. I put out Teddy Ursa and almost one-shot him by accident. I then threw a Pokeball and failed. So I tried once again, which was successful. Just kidding, it wasn't. I then tried a Great Ball, which ended up being enough. Next up was a Growlithe, so I began fighting him a bit before throwing a Great Ball and catching him. Now guys, don't get mad, but I forgot to record the fight with Wald, so yeah, I did finally beat him, I promise. He indeed did start the fire, in case you were wondering. I was not ready to fight in the gym, so I spoke to the league official who told me I'd have to take down the Pokemon Rangers in training to get to Fawner. Now, he did warn me he uses grass-type Pokemon, but honestly, I wasn't paying attention to the dialogue. First up was Thomas, and he threw out Burmy, and I threw out Ponyta. Ponyta's fire moves were super effective. On the next attack, Ponyta survived with just 1 HP, but was successful. Thomas then threw out Badoo, who finished Ponyta. I'm sorry. I then threw out Growlithe, who did a huge chunk of damage, while Badoo hardly did anything. After defeating all of Thomas's Pokemon, next up was Red. He also threw out Burmy, but Growlithe easily won. Next was Badoo again, and Powell was able to finish him. All I had left was the gym leader, so I went to the Poke Center and I had the nurse heal all my Pokemon first. I went back to the gym leader and he threw out Cherubi and I put out Ponyta again. Once again, the fire moves were very effective and we easily beat her. Next was Roselia, who, well, yeah. I put out Growlithe, but the level difference was quite high. Once again, cool. Mawile, it's your turn. You got this. Excuse me? Excuse me? Okay, we almost got him. Yep. Okay, cool. So the regeneration thing kinda kept happening again and again and again. So I decided to just run from the battle because it was not working out. I would need to do lots and lots more leveling with my Pokemon, so I did just that. Man, being the very best is a lot more grueling of an experience than I originally anticipated. I continued battling, coming across a Jigglypuff. So cute. And a Zubat. Eventually, after tons of battling, my Turtwig finally evolved. He was now Grottle, which to be honest is much uglier, and I want the cute little Turtwig back. Anyway, I continued battling some more until I came across this move maniac who would help me teach my Pokemon moves. Unfortunately, he was very expensive, so I'll come back another day. Later, I found out that you could name your Pokemon. Yes, name them. So, of course, Magikarp, you're getting a new name. Worthless. No, Splasher. Now, this did cost me 5,000 coins, but I think it was totally worth it. It was now time for me to fight the gym leader again, but I was pretty confident this time since I had just spent hours grinding and leveling up my Pokemon. Get him, Splasher. Just kidding. I put up Ponyta and used some fire abilities, again, nearly one-shotting Cherubi. Super effective. Good job, this little bugger. Growlithe, now it's your turn. Ooh, nice. Okay, not so nice. Okay, Vulpix, go. Yes! Cricktoon defeated my Vulpix, so Mawile, it's your turn. I continued on with this battle until Mawile eventually won. Next was Vespiquen. I put out Grottle and got absolutely demolished. This is unfortunate. It was time for more leveling to be the very best. Yeah! Going back, I finally won. Just kidding. I lost. Again, this is the first gym, by the way, out of 8, I think. Now, this is just a beautiful Pokemon, but they must go. Oh. Alright, I'm bringing out the big guns now. Bye-bye, Fly! I actually wanted to catch her, so whoops. Ooh, Growlithe can learn another ability. That one. Okay, we're back at it again. Go Splasher! Do something. After getting back to Vespiquen, this time we were able to use just a few fire abilities before defeating her. Yes! Now I was able to start the Discovery of Existence quest, since I had completed the first gym. However, I'd have to travel all the way to Frostfort. Good thing I can fly. On my way there, I found a Pachirisu, which I demanded to be part of my collection. Or my team. Collection is not the right word. Team. My team. I threw an Ultra Ball on her and I got her first try. Hey! After making my way to Frostfort, I found an ice rink set up for a race, so I invited my friend to come race me. I counted down and we ran. After racing, I realized we went the wrong way. So, we went again. Wow, Davis miraculously beat me. How did he ever do that? After finding Isaac, I asked him what's up, and he needed to find Uxies. After interviewing the last person with Danielle's help, I reported back to Isaac. Next, I needed to find the hidden cave entrance. After Davis led me the way, since I was having trouble finding it, I entered the cave, which both Danielle and Isaac were too afraid to enter. Of course, they insisted I investigate instead. After going deeper into the cave, I encountered a cosmic star grunt who warned me to leave. But you know, I'm a rebel, and I refused. So we began battling. I was completely and utterly stomped on. I was nowhere even close to winning that, so I once again began leveling up my Pokemon and their abilities. While in Circuit City leveling up, Splasher finally was ready to evolve. Now maybe he will actually contribute in some shape or form. Later, I was challenged to a battle by another player and I accepted. Ultimately, after going through each of his Pokemon, I beat him. Probably has something to do with my Pokemon all being over level 50 and his only level 8, but oh well. I also found a guy on a cool bike. Very cool bike. I want a bike. Then Davis and I decided to have our first battle as well. His Roselia was doing a bit more damage than Splasher was at first, but Splasher ultimately won. Next up, Talo, who Splasher almost one-hit. I put out Ponyta and Davis put out Marill. After things were going pretty even, I threw in Pachirisu and he put out Monferno. I then put Ponyta back out and his Monferno won. He also shredded through my Goddle as well as my Magnemite. Feels bad. Ah yes, and my Mawile. Feels even more bad. I decided to swap out my Pokemon as I didn't have my highest leveled ones in the battle. That's my excuse. After that, Davis and I once again battled and Splasher went in hard. Ponyta also did tons of damage. Once again, Splasher beat another one of his Pokemons, Talo. And after defeating Marill, Davis decided to withdraw. I'm just like so good at Pokemon. I mean, I don't know. What can I say? Back at Frostport, I found a little parkour area and worked hard to complete it. I was super excited to see what my reward would be. Well, that's just awesome. Back at the fight in the cave, I was once again defeated. Anyway, after a ton more training, I went back to battle with Cosmic Star Grunt and finally won. Oh, but don't worry. There's 4 more. While in Cosmic City training my Pokemon, I opened up the tracker to see a Pikachu. A Pikachu! I could have a Pikachu! Davis and I began looking around everywhere for one. Eventually, I found one, and I didn't want to risk fighting him, and instead, I just tried immediately catching him, which I was successful at. Unfortunately, his stats weren't that great, but hey, I have a Pikachu, so I'm happy enough. Of course, I wanted to try out my new Pikachu, and unfortunately, he just wasn't doing that hot. But that's okay, that's okay. Your new Pikachu. I continued trying to level up my Pikachu some, but he struggled. Okay, good job, Pikachu. I knew you could do it. We were just totally gonna ignore that she was level 3. Back in the cave, I finally learned there were even more of these guys to fight. His first Pokemon absolutely demolished my Grottle. But with my other Pokemon, I was able to defeat the dude, as well as upgrade an ability. Now quick pause, the next battle was, well, awful. The first one wasn't too strong, and I defeated her pretty easily. However, this Jinx, oh, this Jinx. Every single round, she put my Pokemon to sleep. Every time. Ultimately, she team-wiped me pretty easily on her end. I tried another approach and I was able to defeat the Jinx this time, but ultimately, I lost to the Delibird. My third attempt in this fight, I thought my Ponyta would one-shot the Jinx, but nope, she ultimately killed my Ponyta. However, my Pachirisu won against the Delibird. Now, quick pause, this next fight, it was agonizing. Just terrible. I slowly fell into absolute insanity during this battle. The issue was I had no fighter Pokemon and Miltank is incredibly tanky. He was able to tear right through my Pokemon while mine did next to no damage. Even my highest level ones. After my Grottle killed the Miltank, the Stargrunt put out a Golbat whom would shred through my remaining Pokemon. Davis did trade me his bit off to see if it would help whatsoever as shadow attacks are effective on Miltanks, but he was way too low level to be of any use. I traveled to another town to try to catch a shadow Pokemon in which I caught a Zangoose and I leveled him up some. Back in the cave, I put my Zangoose against Miltank and I used a physical attack by accident and unfortunately he didn't do all that great. I won it again with a shadow attack and although it seemed to be more effective, my Zangoose was just demolished per usual. After another loss, I was getting very frustrated. I tried so many approaches to this fight, and by this fight, I finally got to see his third Pokemon, Celio. Now I was a tiny bit closer to knowing what Pokemon I would need in order to actually win the battle. After some mad training, I finally got my Zangoose to level 27, and he nearly took out the Miltank in one hit. Still though, Miltank won the fight somehow. After Splasher took him out, Golbat killed him, and then he killed Grotto, but he was super low. I thought with the rest of my Pokemon, I'd be able to win, but I was wrong. I forgot my Pikachu, although adorable, sucks. Finally, after some more training, I came back and Zangoose finally took out the Miltank first. Still, the Golbat was super strong against my Pokemon, and I started to worry. Finally, on the last Pokemon. Okay, Pachirisu, you got this, bro. Hey, okay, let's go. Come on, one last hit. Yes! Finally. Oh, you thought we were done? Nope, there's still more. But luckily, this one was a lot easier. He put out Gallade first, and obviously my Zangoose was just deleted from the game. Splasher was able to kill him, but at the cost of his own life. Next was Porygon, and I made a poor choice putting Grotto against him. Pikachu. A good bit of training later, I put Splasher first, which was a good choice. Against the Porygon, my Zangoose deleted him. Hey! And he also did tons of damage to Skorupi, but I decided to put in Pikachu instead. Even though Pikachu fainted, Hail fell and killed Skorupi as well. I didn't realize at the time, but they had another Pokemon, Tangela. Zangoose was able to inflict a good bit of damage before failing, and ultimately Magnemite was able to finish the fight. Next, it was time that I finally complete the second gym. First, I was against Jason's Prinlup, and Splasher did some mad damage to him before beating him altogether. Yay! Next was Pillospine, and unfortunately, I couldn't see his health to see how effective my skills were on him, but he did end up beating Splasher. I then threw in Zangoose, who did great. Next was Ali's Sneasel, and although my first hit did a lot, Sneasel also did some big boy damage on me. Still, Splasher is the ultimate MVP, and he won. I threw in Magnemite to fight as well, but he wasn't doing so hot, so I put Grotto in, and he did some good damage before fainting himself. Okay, Pachi, it's all up to you. Close. Okay, one more time. Hey, nice. All that was left was the gym leader Maxell. She threw out Mamoswine, which Splasher won against. She then sent Frostlass, who wasn't affected by Splasher whatsoever. Although Zangoose did a lot of damage, he was ultimately one-shot as well. After Grotto won, it was Weevil against Pikachu, and yeah. After some more heavy losses, I decided it was time I get some fighter Pokemon for the fight. I traveled a whole bunch before catching a Hitmontop. I also caught a Gloom because he's just so cute, and that's the only reason. I also caught a Hitmonchan. Now these guys were pretty low leveled, so I did some training. In the meantime, Davis had evolved his Pikachu into a Raichu, which is honestly equally as cute. Unfortunately, my leveling up wasn't enough, and I continued to lose the gym fight a couple more times. Finally though, it seemed my Pokemon were doing a lot better than Maxell's. Although Hitmonchan fell to the Glaceon, for being 10 levels lower, I think he did quite well. Juanito was able to defeat the Glaceon though, and he had officially won the battle, and I received my second gym badge. I wasn't ready to end my adventure yet though, so I traveled back to the Fineville Cape. I found a very adorable Ferret, and I had no other choice but to catch him. He was super stubborn though, and it took a few balls. While wandering around, I came across Justin, who was having issues with his Baneri evolving. First, I needed to find berries for Justin to give him to make his Baneri happy, so I traveled to Woodburn to find them. There were 5 berries in total underneath the gym, and my eyesight is awful, so this definitely took a lot longer than it should have. After traveling back, I gave the berries to Baneri, and then Justin asked for me to go get his brush from the delivery center. I'm not sure why this guy is so lazy that he's asking a complete stranger to do that for him, but it's okay, it's okay. And of course, the delivery dude lost the package. Fabulous. I traveled to the last place he remembered having the bag, and I was greeted by Jack. Well, maybe not greeted. He told me if I wanted the bag, I'd have to battle him for it. I mean, sure. Why not? After putting our Pokemon out, I realized my Pokemon were around 3 times the level of his, so I shredded through them. I think Jack was a bit dumbfounded. I took the package back to the delivery person, who then had me just take it straight to Justin. Anyway, Justin wanted to play hide and seek, and I was kind of just forced into it, so sure, let's go. After looking around for a bit, I found him behind a house in which he asked I give him another chance. This time, the hint was that he crossed a bridge to get there. Davis helped me find the bridge, and I found Justin inside the gym. He then asked me to battle him, and his Baneri is literally level 45. Excuse me? Obviously, he won, but then his Baneri evolved into a Lopunny, so I was glad I could help. I also decided it was time I finally joined a team, and after some time, I decided to join Team Mystic. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to go check out this amazing server at play.pokefind.co. Don't forget that this is an entirely vanilla experience, so you don't have to download any mods or anything. All the information will be down below. Additionally, I want to thank all of my YouTube members, Fox vs. You, Aspa, Athena, and Rise. Bye!